sounds like cutting Medicare and Social Security.
Well, it's certainly putting it up for grabs. I mean, it's terrible policy and it's suicidal politics.
Yeah.
Because of the fact it's the old political cliche, Social Security is the third rail of American politics.
Chris Wallace, who used to be over at Fox, is still very much a conservative Republican, but there he was attacking another fellow conservative Republican, Senator Ron Johnson, after Johnson spoke about the need to ensure that Medicare and Social Security, two wildly popular programs in this country, should move over to the discretionary spending category so Congress can basically chop away what is left of those programs. He made these comments during a recent interview on the Regular Joe Show podcast. Let's listen.
Defense spending has always been discretionary. VA spending is discretionary. What's mandatory are things like Social Security and Medicare. If you qualify for the entitlement, you just get it no matter what the cost. And our problem in this country is that more than 70% of our federal budget, of our federal spending, is all mandatory spending. It's on automatic pilot. It never, you just don't do proper oversight. You don't get in there and fix the programs going bankrupt. It's just on automatic pilot. What we ought to be doing is we ought to turn everything into discretionary spending so it's all evaluated so that we can fix problems or fix programs that are broken, that are going to be going bankrupt. But because, again, as long as things are on automatic pilot, we just continue to pile up debt. It's mortgaging our kids' future. It's this massive debt burden combined with additional massive deficit spending that sparked this inflation, is wiping out people's wage gains, making it impossible for them to make ends meet.
I mean, the idea that Social Security and Medicare have contributed to inflation, he's just throwing everything in there. Like, your kid did really bad in their test and it's because of Social Security and Medicare. Your kid didn't get into their favorite college, it's because of Social Security and Medicare. We really need to make sure that it's in the category of discretionary spending so we can basically end those programs. That's what Republicans want to do. And it is such an unpopular position that what Ron Johnson, who is running for re-election in the Senate, is doing here is providing a layup to his Democratic opponent here, Mandela Barnes, who absolutely should win the Senate seat. Mandela Barnes responded to that by saying, Ron Johnson is threatening to cut Social Security and Medicare. Surprise, surprise, the self-serving multimillionaire senator is trying to strip working people of the Social Security and Medicare benefits they've earned over a lifetime of work. Now, Mandela Barnes, Democratic opponent to Ron Johnson in the Senate seat. Okay, but it doesn't even take a Democrat to make that argument because Chris Wallace, a conservative, made a similar argument on CNN. Let's watch.
Social Security is not money that is just handed out to Americans. Hey, here's some free money. We pay into Social Security. We pay into Medicare. It's in effect an insurance policy, like you pay premiums. Nobody would say, well, you're not entitled to the benefit for life insurance when the person who has the policy dies. We have been paying into the system for years. Look, there are problems with Social Security and Medicare. I think the biggest one is that Social Security, which was passed, I think, in 1935, was the life expectancy was very different than it is now. And I checked yesterday, you can begin getting Social Security benefits at 62. The average life expectancy for an American man or woman is close to 80. So it wasn't built for that kind of system. Maybe you have to raise the retirement age, but the idea of saying this isn't an entitlement is probably a wrong word because it gives you this, I'm entitled to this. The fact is you paid into it and you're getting the benefit, sometimes more than you actually paid in, but the benefit of what you paid into the system in the first place.
Now, I agreed with most of what Wallace said there. I don't think you need to raise the retirement age. You could just lift the stupid Social Security cap, which this year is set at $147,000, to ensure that people making above that don't get taxed for Social Security past $147,000. Obviously, that's a little bit of a tax break for the wealthy. If you do away with that, we've got no issues with Social Security and ensuring that people are able to get the benefits that they have paid into. But Emma, thoughts? I know you've got a lot to say.
Yeah, everything you said is 100% accurate, and we should be expanding Social Security and Medicare, not talking about for Social Security raising the retirement age. We should be, as Bernie Sanders has proposed, dropping the Medicare age precipitously until we get to Medicare for all, but Biden is not very interested in that. I think it's really important to understand that while you can feel black-pilled, we have come a long way in the rhetoric around this, because people forget that Obama wanted to cut Social Security in a grand bargain with Mitch McConnell before, I think in 2012, something like that.
Yep.
And he saw it was considered the third rail, but he thought maybe I'll curry favor with Mitch McConnell if we do that. No, these programs are massively popular because they are expansive and because they are universal and self-funded. We should never be cutting into them, only expanding.
Absolutely. And Mandela Barnes, focus on attacking Ron Johnson where it hurts. Again, it is a layup. This is an important issue to attack him on. I think that it would be an effective strategy. We need to get Ron Johnson out, who, by the way, took a pledge to not run for re-election and then ran for re-election anyway. What a clown.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.